This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Friday, October 20th, 2017. The title of this rant is, Why Do Men of Honor Suck Up to the Instigator of Hate? John Kelly, the Chief of Staff, went out to clear up the betrayer of trust mess, which started a while ago on Monday when someone asked him why he hadn't spoken up about the 4 Green Berets that had been murdered, assassinated 12 days earlier in the country of Niger in Africa. And of course, he tried to sidestep it all and blame Obama for not making calls to our fallen heroes. And he compounded it later on by calling up the wife of LaDavid Johnson and making very insensitive remarks to her that were heard by a congresswoman from Florida and LaDavid Johnson's mother. They both of them spoke out and said that he had made some very insensitive remarks. And of course, what did Mr. Minority do after that? He called them liars. He said that he hadn't made those statements. He said that he had proof that he didn't make those statements. And of course, no one at the White House, even John Kelly, when he went out yesterday, denied that he had made those statements. He had made those statements. So Kelly went out there and eloquently spoke about the process of what happens when we lose one of our best and finest. And it was very, very touching and very moving. But then he goes out and goes to trash the Congresswoman who spoke up about this. Now, let me go back just a second to give you a little bit of perspective here. Now, Frederica Wilson was born in 1942. So when she was 10 years old, there were no role models for her as a young black girl, so to speak. There were no whites in the school that she was in by law. There were deplorable infrastructure for black schools, segregated black schools in the South. This was before Brown versus Board of Education. This was before Rosa Parks did not give up her seat at the front of the bus. This was before the Martin Luther King speech on the Mall in Washington, D.C. in 1963. Whereas John Kelly, when he was 10 years old, another person who had the same name as him, same lettering of name, JFK, was elected president of the United States. And all the role models that John Kelly had were white men that had power. And there were no blacks in his school by custom. And so I could say very assuredly that there really were no impediments to advancement for John Kelly. Whereas if you look at Frederica Wilson, that there were tremendous impediments for her advancement. But she started out as a school teacher. She worked her way up. She was elected to the Board of Education. She started a mentoring program which LaDavid Johnson was a part of. And she has dedicated her entire life to helping others and became a congresswoman, I believe, at the age of 69. But Kelly stood up there and trashed her, all right? And basically called her an empty barrel. He should have just used the N-word, because that's basically what he meant. And basically what he was saying up there was that the loser is brave because he made some calls and he tried. But he wasn't brave enough to call him back and say, I'm awfully sorry that whatever I said, it didn't come out my words correctly. He didn't have the guts to do that. All right? But he basically said the loser is brave and that black congresswoman from Florida is uppity. That's what he was basically saying. Now, the thing, again, I can't understand is why do these people, like John Kelly, a very distinguished career, have to be a suck-up for this tool? I guess you could say birds of a feather. But remember, for all of those who think that they're going to get rid of this guy, this president, When you have people like Kelly defending like that, and then you have all of the Congress, they all can pay lip service that they don't like them, but they're going to get that tax cut, and they're going to do a lot of other terrible things for the United States, and they're going to do it while he's in office, and they're going to suck up to him all over the place, and it is going to be wretched.